Welcome to another episode of Conversation with Coach Kevin. I'm your host, Kevin Thornton, life coach and author. Today, I have an amazing guest who I have followed his journey since he's been in the radio industry. And so I'm looking forward to him tell his journey and being an inspiration and motivation to those who are watching. Those who know me know that I am an advocate of our black men to showcase black men in a positive light outside of athletics and entertainment. Um, I think there's more to us. There's more to us as a spiritual being. There's more to us as the man figures. So I'm intentional about what I do and who I select because I feel their stories will manifest into great things for other people who try to apply what they did to them. So without further ado, I want to introduce my guest, Mr. Sam Sermons. How you doing, sir?
I'm wonderful. Thank you for having me on your platform. I definitely hope that this conversation um, gets someone to that next step within whatever they're doing.
Thank you. So tell everybody who you are and what do you do and how did you get to this point?
All right, so like you said, Sam Sermons. I'm originally from Kokomo, Indiana. Got my undergrad degree in telecommunications, and I got the radio bug. I want to say I was like my first year junior. I switched my major from business to TCOM
Mm,
and just threw myself in radio. And I went to my best friend's graduation at Alabama A&M. His older sister was dating at the time someone that was a part of the then CBS radio.
mm,
And they're like, "Hey, you should come intern with us. I heard about you. If you really like radio, you should just come intern with us." And I ended up doing that. I came down to Atlanta in 2012, excuse me, and it really just kind of took off from there. I took in everything from that summer, and I made that internship my last course credit. So I actually extended my or pushed back my graduation until December of that year. But
okay.
I worked in both programming and promotions. I wanted to know how radio worked from both sides
Mm,
because I felt like I wanted to do both. I wanted to do the live activations and run around the city and touch people, but I also definitely had an affinity for radio. So understanding like stop sets, understanding how everything has to be put together, um, and how it sounds, and so how sales can sell it and things like that. So just really being in the background and fortunately having the ability to join Ryan Cameron as he transcended from afternoons at the time to mornings and only becoming the sixth morning person in V103's history. To be an associate producer on that show, to then produce that show for a few months before leaving for California, I ventured out and decided that, hey, I can do this too. And I was out in Palm Springs for about a year and a half and did really well, had some of the highest ratings on that station,
mm,
and unfortunately got let go. It was a situation where I knew I was going to need more, and they knew I was going to ask for more. So a casualty, last one in, first one to go. And unfortunately, that radio was on pause for me. I was still able to DJ out there. I was still able to host events, with even that station having to hire me as an independent contractor just so they can keep certain relationships. So even though it didn't work out with me staying with the station, they had to still, call my phone every once in a while, like, "Hey, this client is asking for you. Are you available?" So I'm grateful that even though it was a very like I had never really been let go from anywhere before, and that was my first time really dealing with adversity. But understanding that you still got to stay the course because if I react in a real negative connotation and I'm argumentative and everything on the exit interview,
mm,
they don't call me back when there's another they need someone that they're asking for. They could have been like, "No, we offer this person," but
right.
with the relationship that I still had, they reached out. We were able to make a few things happen. DJ'd at the Wet and Wild out there. I know it has a new name now. I still hosted the 4th of July celebration in Indio. which is a part of Coachella Valley. Just still able to make an impact um, through radio and through the channels that it allowed me to do. Then in 2018, I said I'm ready to come back. California was love, forever gonna love the left coast, but Atlanta's home, and I decided to come home. The initial premise was to actually go back to V103 in the promotion department. Um, that didn't work out. I wasn't able to return there, but this is when Ryan Cameron decides he's coming back to radio and he needs a producer. I said, I'm back in the city. He says, you trying to make it happen? I said, let's get it. And from, I think our first day was like November 5th. It was the day after the election was his end of his non-compete. So then we came on the day after the election and started Ryan Cameron Uncensored. And you know, we didn't know where magic was. We didn't. I mean, that's coming from V, and we knew we were the big dogs. So we had to learn the core, the culture of magic and what and who listens to it, and understanding our listener base. And
Right.
in Atlanta, it's 99% Black women. Like whoever we target, we always talk to Black women. But I feel like going from V to Magic, it was a more adult audience that we were going to have to reach because we're coming to where they were. They were like, they already been there. And what I was, told is that when you get tired of hearing the rap, you listen to Magic
Right.
because, it's a mix, a mixed bag. V103 has to cater to audiences 8 to 88. We don't have to do that at Magic. We were able to be adults, be grown, still have grown conversations, and just so happens that the younger generation, like the music we was playing, the younger generation still was rocking with the conversation we're having. So it was a win-win. We, started winning over at Magic, and we've been winning over at Magic so much that we are now nationally syndicated in a total of 4 markets. So, and we're picking up affiliates, we're in conversation with a lot of people, and we're looking forward to growing that number very, very soon. But I'm a producer, I'm a personality, I'm a DJ, I'm a host, I'm a podcaster, I'm a philanthropist, I'm an entrepreneur. Like I feel like everything that's going on, it's all the radio's always been the foundation, but at the same time, getting to that next stage in my professional life, in my personal life, you gotta try new things. And even if they don't work, at least I know, hey, I tried it.
Right.
Um, so a lot of that was just betting on myself. Like, and there wasn't anyone saying, hey, you should try this. I'm
Right.
just like, I'm gonna do it. Going out to California where I had never been before, well, not lived before. I don't have any roots in California like that. But I went out there and did it. I did radio out there, and I was number one, like 3 books in a row. I have no, like, I don't hang my head about that just because it didn't end the right way, or a way I would have envisioned it. But I was winning. I've been very fortunate to any position I've associated myself with. We're winning.
Right.
I don't really put my go to, or I don't wake up every morning and say, I'm gonna be mediocre. I'm gonna be. I want second place today. I want third place today. No, like I work with people that want to be number one. I have a personal validation that I know I want to be number one, and you have that hustle, meeting that opportunity at all times. It's gonna take care of itself. I mean, it's not happening overnight because nothing happened overnight.
Mhm.
But it's the dedication, it's the commitment to excellence that I believe in myself. And I've had other people, whether they doubt me or they, found themselves aligned with me, like, yeah, we believe in you. I gotta prove you right
Right.
in the regards of doing what I say I'm gonna do. Now, if I've let you down, like I'm not perfect. I know that. Like there's times I've made mistakes, made huge mistakes, and I'm glad it wasn't detrimental to my career. But at the same time, I also know that I can't stop at any time and be complacent because at that point, that's when I'm gonna get lapped. That's when um, the next person is going to take my spot. Now, if you big and bad enough to take what I'm doing, by all means, I welcome all challengers. But because I'm not cut from a cloth that takes L's, that can understand, like, I just complacency, just being very like status quo, that's nowhere in my DNA.
Right.
And I'm grateful it's not, but at the same time, just because you're born into it and feel like that's in your DNA, you still gotta put up. You gotta get in the gym, do whatever you need to do. You gotta practice everything. You gotta get your reps in. So it's been a long 14-year journey now. I'm proud to like be in the position I'm in currently. It's a blessing. I don't take it for granted.
Wow, so we got a lot to impact with it because your confidence is crazy, which I respect.
Hmm.
Um, what I do know of you, and I know of Ryan from this listening to y'all for years. Uh, you have to have that sense of confidence, but both of y'all have that spiritual faith that goes along with it to make it happen. Because who would ever thought, after leaving V, to come to Magic, that you all would be now syndicated nationally?
Man, honestly, I've heard him talk about it, and I'll definitely give credit to Ryan because he gave me my shot, and I'm grateful to be one of his many, um, I guess, representatives of like him taking a shot on someone and they maximizing the opportunity, the ability to want more and believe that more is possible and capable. Like he says dreams don't have deadlines, and he's literally said I want to be syndicated, and I remember him saying that over at V, and that company wasn't in the syndication business. They don't believe in that, and that's what that is. Cool. But being able to go back to Radio One, having an opportunity to produce, uncensored when he first came back, being able to, really, he was the most famous non-syndicated personality within the company
Hmm.
for years. Like people know Ryan Cameron's name in the industry,
Right.
and to now be in the same conversations as a Steve Harvey, who was the flagship morning show on Magic, to be in the same conversation with Ricky Smiley, um, DL Hughley, people that have been syndicated for years, and now we get our opportunity to. I'm honored to be a part of that legacy and a part of that history that Ryan Cameron continues to make every single day.
So,
Yeah, go ahead.
so for me, coaching a lot of the men in your age range, you said something that I think a lot of them struggle with, which is betting on themselves. Um,
Ooh, yeah.
where did you get that mindset from? And can you speak to the audience, especially our black men, who have that kind of fear of not willing to bet on themselves to become their best self?
So I definitely attribute that to the people I grew up with. And I know not everyone's fortunate to have supportive parents, supportive friends. Um, I don't know everyone's background, but I can speak on mine being that I had two best friends that we always kept each other close in regards to like, hey, we all gonna get this done. We're all going to college. We are like having like-minded people around. Like I had no choice but to be great.
Right.
Um, I mean, my best friend got a full ride to Alabama A&M. My other best friend, he ended up going to Michigan State for 2 years, and I'm just like, I'm just trying to make sure I graduate with these guys. I didn't want to be the one that's like kind of dragging the rear.
Right.
And even when it came to early in our careers, we all graduated. Thank God. Like me and Mikey took an extra a year, because we switched majors, but we all graduated. And I felt like even then, in early on, I want to say 2012 to like 2014, I did feel like I was bringing up the rear in regards of success in the industry compared to what they were doing. Like one works in IT, the other one was working in marketing, and I'm still kind of like figuring out how radio's working because I'm still hustling this shoe job and just doing side missions like websites and things like that. Like I felt like I was definitely bringing up the rear in my immediate friend group, but I also made sure that I didn't give up and see that like, oh well, I can't do it because it ain't happened by now, and they wouldn't allow me to give up either. Like even the idea of me getting to Atlanta, it was becoming a struggle because of a family situation that I was going to stay with. That person was like, "Hey, I'm not able to." have you stay with us now? I'm bringing a mother-in-law in, so I won't have any room. So trying to tell my best friends that, like, I don't know how I'm gonna make this happen. I guess I'll be in Indy, a little while longer. They're like, nah, we're gonna figure this out. And they did help me figure that out. Like, they helped me get on my feet down there. They helped me get to my best friend's master's graduation. Like, cause I'm like, hey, I don't have it, y'all. And they personally put up their money for me. They didn't have to do that. And it's more so in those moments, like, I gotta make sure I give you the return on investment. I don't want to let you down by not showing up, by not giving 100% in what I'm good at. Because
Right.
what they're good at, I cannot do whatsoever. I know my lane, I know my focus, I know my goals, and I gotta chase after those. They can want it for me, and that's a huge help. Having a support system has been everything. But at
Right.
the end of the day, if I don't want it bad enough for myself, it ain't gonna matter what the person to the left or to the right of me are thinking. It's just like, okay, I don't want to have all this potential and it go, it's wasted. I don't want that. So if anything, it's more so like I don't want to let me down, but also for the people that have literally put me in a position to win, such as a Ryan Cameron, such as my best friend Patrick, such as my best friend Michael. I can't let them down because
Right.
they've literally given me the opportunity. Like, hey, we gonna give you this quick push. That's all we got for you. You gotta do everything else. And from then on, it's like, all right, so now that I'm running, I got my running start. Who else can I help on get on to this journey? That's what, like, the giving back can't end with the people that just helped you.
Absolutely.
And it's impossible for black men to treat everyone like an op. Like, I understand there's gonna be people that don't like you. It's real. It's with
Yep.
any success that's happened in my life, there's going to be someone that says it ain't even that impressive, and that's okay. I know what I'm doing is amazing. I know it could literally all be taken away in an instant. I've
Yes.
seen it happen, and I've been fortunate enough to have this long career in this field that is cutthroat, month to month. It's you're not guaranteed your spot.
Right.
Like, someone is definitely in the wings waiting for you to mess up. I'm not gonna give them any favors by messing up. So I just try to make sure I'm on my P's and Q's. And it really comes in what we had hinted at earlier, is like it's definitely a faith walk. Because without God, like, I'm absolutely, like, wayward, and I probably would have broken down maybe 4 or 5 times by now.
Right.
Life has been life, and especially last year, I lost a lot of influential people that you just don't prepare yourself to lose, and that's inevitable. Death is
Right.
inevitable. Unfortunately, it's not something that no one really coaches us through, and you can talk about it all you want to, but until you are in the middle of it, and it's someone that you love and respect and admire and have known your entire life, and you have to pay your final respects, and you're like, God, how am I going to get through this? How? I don't know how. I don't see a an outlet. I don't get it. But you just got to take it one day at a time. In the same faith that he sustained you when things were great, he's going to give you even a different type of faith that's going to keep you even when the chips are down. So to be where I am right now in 2024 after a terrible fourth quarter in 2023, I'm grateful. I'm It's really a testament to, like, his promises that he's given us have not fallen void. He's not forgotten about me. He's not left me by the wayside. My dreams have not been deferred, um, or they've not been denied. They've only been deferred for when I was ready for them. So
There you go.
it's like you really got it. Like, your faith is going to be tested. Like, how much are you going to trust in him when everything is going wrong?
Mhm.
How much are you going to really, like, be able to praise his name when I'm just like, you ain't got nothing in your bank account right now? You overdrawn and everything. You just trying to make it through the night. Like, it's rough. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's rough. But I also know the God that I serve, like, specializes in the supernatural, the impossible, the unthinkable things that people like, nope, it's just not gonna happen. God will step in that 11th hour and make it so, and bring
Absolutely.
peace, and it's
You have
everything to me.
said, brother, you have said some powerful things. Um, One of the things for sure I know is, he wants to see how much you rely on him. When things are going good, we praise him all day long.
Hmm.
But then when we are, like you said, when life be life, are we still connected to him at that time? And to understand that, when life be life, it's a test to see how far you have come as a person, as a man, and your belief, and understanding that, okay, this is a storm right now, and my question I have to ask myself or ask him is, what am I supposed to learn through this storm? So then
Mm.
I can move on to the next thing. But the biggest thing that I respected from you, what you said was that Mr. All the stuff you was going through in the fourth quarter, you still was grateful. If you was not grateful, you wouldn't continue to get the blessings that you have. And you understood that. And I think a lot of times when the things are good, we happy. When things is bad, we forget all that he has already done for us. And he wants to do more for us, but he wants to see, are you still be grateful on the rough times? And so for you to say that, I hope everybody heard that like I heard it,
Hmm.
because that's powerful. And then if they apply that gratitude on a daily basis, then you have nothing but blessings to come. But like you also said too, you gotta be able to put the work in every day.
Absolutely. And
You
I'll
are
even go a step further with that. God will keep sending you the same test if you haven't learned from it. Like
absolutely.
if you run into the same thing over and over and over and over again, it's because you haven't learned from it. And as someone that I feel like I done had the same, I've had to retake the same course, the level 100 course, years consecutively. Like, all right, I'm gonna learn it this time. I'm gonna learn it until you actually implement it and actually do level up from that level 100 course. Um, you gonna keep seeing it. The
Yep,
test, the questions may be in different order, but it's still the same test. And
exactly.
until you commit to really getting past over that hump, um, you're going to find yourself on that red wheel in the same space. You just seem like you're not making any movement because you're not learning, you're not growing. And growing hurts. That's I don't think anyone really discusses that. The growing and the separation that has to happen is going to be painful. It's
Yeah.
difficult. It's because it's uncomfortable.
Hmm.
And we are creatures of just I like it this way. This is what I know. This is who I am. But if you can literally ascend to a higher being, ascend to your highest self, and a better version of you,
Hmm.
and if that gives you the best outcome possible, why wouldn't you do it? If you knew
Right.
from 6 months from now that your whole life would change if you just commit to yourself 15 minutes a day,
Yep.
6 months from now, like that's it. 6 months, your life will be completely different. Why
I
wouldn't you do it?
it's so funny you said that because I had just said that to a few of my clients. I said, all I'm asking you to do is to give yourself 6 months. 6 months. Dedicate yourself for 6 months and watch what happens. And I said,
That's all it takes.
if you can't, if you can't give yourself 6 months, then you gotta ask yourself why not. Why you don't feel that you are worth 6 months time of dedication and preparation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so to hear you say that, to see your journey, I'm not that dude. I think we all should give everybody their flowers while they're doing it,
Mm-hmm.
not to the end. To see a man like you go through the journey, and now y'all are a syndicated show. Y'all went to DC and met the president and the vice president, one of very few who's able to do that. So that's major. That's
It's it's a blessing, man. I can't like when people bring that up, I it's not like I've forgotten, but I'm focused on the now. And I try to make sure I don't miss now But when I think back, like that was the first radio show that had like ever broadcast from the White House. Like
Yeah.
people come up there and do interviews, but not a radio program doing an entire show from the actual White House.
Mhm.
To be escorted through the White House on a private tour from the former mayor of Atlanta, Keisha Lance Bottoms, who at that time was a cabinet member of President Biden. Like it blows my mind to know where radio's taking me, but also like the people I've done it with.
Mhm.
It's been an incredible journey. I was at the White House, I think 4 times in 2022. It
Mhm.
makes no sense to like. I might as well have got an apartment up there. I was telling like my mom that like I might as well just get a space up there the way I'm up there so much. But it's a you couldn't tell me a kid from Kokomo would be at the White House. We'd be shaking hands with the president, bringing their best friends to meet the president, bringing our moms to meet the president. Getting it to sit down and talk to the vice president in person. Like I couldn't dream of it. That was never on my bingo card. That was never like, oh, that's something I definitely want to do, and that was nowhere near it. But it's like you gotta understand there's someone that is orchestrating steps, and there's a someone that's been praying over my life, and I'm grateful they have. Because I don't think I pray for me enough. I'll be the first to say it, but someone had been praying for me, just making sure, hey, keep them strong, keep them safe. Like to get here, being 34 in 2024 is crazy because I buried people before they reached the age of 34.
Mhm.
I lost people in high school. I've lost people in college. Like you're not promised
Right.
tomorrow. So I'm grateful that I can now look back and when someone like yourself, and I appreciate the flowers. I really do, but I just feel like there's more to be done. I gotta keep giving back. I gotta keep sowing this seed because I don't want it to end with me. I don't want to be the last person that's ever broadcasted live from the White House and done cool stuff with the president. I don't want to be the last one in the way. Like that's what I don't want. I don't want to be the first and then open the door for the next person. That's
So,
that's my deepest fear, like to literally be the last one.
so outside of radio, what is your ultimate vision for Sam Servants?
Ooh, the ultimate vision for Sam Sermons is to really impact my generation and the following generation in ways that I can't even fully comprehend yet. Like it's gonna be so much bigger than me that I'm gonna be grateful my name is attached to it. That's how large I want it to be. I just want my name to be attached to it. It
Right.
ain't you ain't got to see me. You ain't got to like anything like that. I just want to be like in the very, very end credits. Like I was a part of that. I wanted to be so big. And that's the thing because it changes and it grows. I didn't think for any reason in 2012 when I was moving down to Atlanta on literal faith in fruit snacks that I turned that into a brand. I had no like until it literally was keeping me up all night. I wake up at 4 a.m. like for no reason. Wouldn't have to be up till 8 or 9, but I would wake up at 4 every single night. And it took me like almost 3 weeks to figure out it's because I had not been giving my 100% to this idea that got it placed on my heart. And I'm like, there's no way I don't turn this into something.
Right.
So now that I've done it, great. I've had my first successful year. I'm grateful for all the people that have supported in 15 states and two international countries. I'm grateful. But now it's time to take that up a whole nother level. I got to do so much more with that. I got to do so much more with radio. I got to do so much more with my family. Like, at this point, it's the dreaming stage of everything. And 34 isn't too old, it's not too young. I feel like it's my perfect time right now to do all of this.
Okay.
Like I'm not trying to be if God allows me to see 50 being like, "Oh, I should have done this." Like, nah, I'm running off with it.
Right.
I have to. I don't want to live in the what if and the regrets and the if I only had time, like, man, the pandemic slowed everybody down, whether we
Right.
wanted to or not. And I feel like at that time, I had to get my stuff together.
Right.
So whether it was through radio, whether it was through podcasting, whether it was finally getting the legwork for this brand that I have. There's so much stuff that I'm like, all right, it's time to push it out because it don't belong to me.
Right.
Like, if God's given me these concepts and these abilities to do multiple things and be good at them, halfway decent at them, let me push them out. It's time. I can't sit on it any longer. I can't. It's selfish of me to sit here and be like, I have this wealth of knowledge and experience, and I'm just gonna hold it right here and not allow anyone to know about it, know what I'm capable of doing. It's selfish. Like, I don't want it that way. And the most successful people I know have been able to give back. So why not do that?
Boy, you you sure you're not supposed to be a pastor? Because you
I'm
are.
a PK and I am not
It had
gonna
to be.
receive
It
that.
had to be. It
I'm
had to be
not gonna
something.
receive that respectfully. My dad's the preacher. My late grandmother, God rest her soul. Um, Uncles, like, oh, it's in the bloodline. But I have told everyone I'm gonna be a great deacon one day. I promise you. I'm gonna
Yeah.
be someone's sword bearer, but I'm not preaching. I've lived a little bit. That's all.
So for me, you know, you spoke to me in just that moment because you know, uh, in the pandemic, I had shut down my podcast. And I think that's when I did yours.
Hmm.
And then, but like in the past year, he was like, "Okay, it's time for you to start back up. It's still your assignment is not over, and I need you to do this so you can have people like you come on and speak the way you're speaking, because there's not a lot of lanes out there to allow to hear people like you speak the way you speak, and hopefully inspire the way you inspire with your faith, your determination, and your confidence. And I had to have that same conversation that you just said you had to have. Why am I holding it all in? And he's telling me what to do. I'm being selfish. So I had to like, okay, let me go ahead and do it. So then I had to like be still and like, okay, well, guide me to who you want me to talk to,
Hmm.
because who is that you feel I need to give a voice to, because it's going to represent where I'm at in my life right now and what's needed for the world, but also our community. And it came back to me. It was like, gotta reach out to Sam. And, you know, and at, and at this point, with you being, on a nationally syndicated talk show, you could have been like, I'm too big,
Nah, nah,
you know,
nah, nah.
but
I can
my,
tell you right now that wouldn't have never happened, and not off because of where I work or anything like that. Nah, where I came from, like, nah, nah. This, if anyone was to call me right now and be like, "Can you please just talk with me?" I'm gonna talk to him, because to be honest, I didn't have that person. Um, I didn't have a boys and girls club growing up. I was fortunate to have great male role models, but I was really to myself, and there was things I wish I could have had someone like pull me to the side, like, "Hey, are you all right?" Um, trust me, this confidence is not because I've done anything better than anyone else. This is just more so understanding I had a lot of talks with myself, and I still get scared. I'm still nervous in certain things right before I launch it or anything like that, and it's like, are they gonna receive it? But I'm like, nah, you built for this. I got to remind myself. I'm like, looking back and seeing all the things I've accomplished, I'm like, what can they say about me now? What can they take away from me at this point in my career? What can they dismiss about my credibility? That means nothing to me.
right,
If I'm not pleased with me, that's the issue. But everyone else, I can't. I'm always gonna fall short in someone's categories and not being nominated for X, Y, and Z. Like, I was resentful with my alma mater, because I feel like, what else I gotta prove to y'all that I'm out here doing stuff? But once I literally dismissed that and took those blinders off and like, it's so much bigger than me,
right.
that's where the recognition started to come in. That's when they started calling. So it's when you take that hurt off of your back, it changes your perspective. And it's like, if I'm gonna be everything I wish I'm gonna be, I gotta put the work in. Because I can't just demand, like, okay, if I know I do music, I can't just go in after my first year, where are my Grammy nominations at? Why did I this, that, and the other? You don't go straight to the top. You put
Right.
the work in. And fortunately, I've always put the work in. That's not something anyone can ever say, like, oh, it's, he took the back door. Like, nah, I was at the front door knocking, 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 waiting for someone to come to the door. And they may have walked away, but I stayed there and kept knocking to someone else that was able to give me the opportunity to, like, hey, here's what I can do. That's what I've been able to do. So
So tell
I'm
tell
fortunate that God placed me on your mind, man. I'm honored. I'm grateful.
I appreciate that, but because it just goes to show the listeners you never know who's watching you, and you never
Whew.
know what you put out to the world, how it affects other people, to where they say, you know what, when I get back doing X Y Z, he's one of the first ones I want to talk to because I like what he does. So that's just, even though I appreciate what you say, it's just a testament to you and how you move and shake in this world, and that I'm just showing you I see you, and I respect what you're doing. I respect who you are, and I feel like whoever sees this need to see this type of man, and from a man of the millennials, because a lot of times the millennials get a bad rap, um, that they don't want to do the hard work. You're showing the world I'm gonna put the hard work in. I'm gonna do what I have to do, and I'm gonna be grateful about doing it, and I'm faithful while I'm doing it. So I had to let the world see that, and then let the fellow millennials see that as well. To those who are not like you, can hopefully take your energy from what you're saying and how you believe, and apply to their life, and say, okay, if he don't give up, and now look at what he's doing, why should I give up? So
Man,
yeah,
you putting a lot on that, man. Man. I'm thankful. I'm honored. I am privileged. I'm blessed to be in this position in this moment with you. And one black man to another is I hope we continue to have these dialogues where we can both grow and listen and elevate our personal brands and
and
our
that's what
voices, really.
that's
Our
yeah,
voices at the end of the day.
absolutely. So I want to talk about your brand. So what? Tell everybody what your brand is.
So it's Faith and Fruit Snacks, and it's basically what I came down to Atlanta with. After graduation, finishing my summer course, came down to Atlanta with like everything I could fit in my Saturn View at the time. Came down with $300. The belief, like, I can't go home, so that's the faith part of it. And I stop at a gas station, and I love fruit snacks. I'm a fruit snacks connoisseur, so I had a bag of fruit snacks in my front seat while I'm driving down all the way down to Atlanta. And I remember, like, it was on the my radio anniversary, and I just like literally tweeted it out. I want to say in like 2016ish. Like, I came down to Atlanta like X amount of years ago on Faith and Fruit Snacks. So that's the first time I even said it. And
Mm.
someone says, "Oh, that's dope. You should put that on a T-shirt." And I was not paying any mind to it, anything like that. But it just was something like it. I kept saying it, and I kept having it like, I can do this. And truth be told, I'm just gonna be honest with you. I was one of Goddess Dope's like guaranteed customers. Whatever they dropped, I was buying it. It didn't matter what it was. But I'm just like, this. I love the concept. I like the design, but it's just like, why am I handing y'all all this money? And I feel like I can do this too.
Mm.
And of course, everyone has a shirt business. Everyone's doing this, that, and the other. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm in this space. What is going to make me different? It's because this is a true story that's still being written. I feel like
Right.
that's the difference. And the simple fact is, like, to have started the brand and was able to actually, like, I gave. like 10% of my earnings back through philanthropy. Like it went back into communities in Indiana. It went back to communities here in Georgia. It went back to communities in Pennsylvania. Like I was able to do things that I never thought I'd be able to do. And then on top of that, when it came down to, hey, my business, my brand, that's only 4 months in inception is going to match your donation dollar for dollar. And I raised $250. Like people ain't got to do that. Like and something I didn't even do as an individual, but enough people said, hey, I'm putting my money where my mouth is. Here's my donation. I'm like, say less. I'm gonna put my donation in. We good. Let's keep going. And 5 people saw fit to donate, and we put $250 towards the Ball State Media Department and their scholarships. So I'm grateful to have been able to do that. I never done anything like that.
Right.
Not couldn't have fathomed that. But this lifestyle brand that isn't just clothing, it's gonna be cups. Consulting is coming soon. There's things I'm getting ready to add to it that are gonna take off. And when I get there, it's gonna make the most sense. I feel like there's always something to chase in it, to put new products out almost every 25th. It's some months I was like, hey, you know what? I don't have it. And even to be a creative and to be responsible for every single design, it has not had any other handprint other than me. My fingerprints are all over it.
Right.
So to be in a space now where I finally have a alternative logo that was done by a Black woman, it's to finally get something like, hey, I'm surrounded around this now. Cool. And even when it comes down to that, I didn't use a website service or anything like that. I didn't use like Fiverr or use a contractor like this person. Like I just said, I put in the atmosphere, hey, can you do this? And they were just doing logos. I'm like, hey, if you find mine in the midst of this, great. And they did it, and they knocked it out the park. It's something I had literally been thinking of for months. And one concept that hopefully I have ready for the end of the month was using like the Fruit of the Loom logo. But of course, I don't want to be sued at any point in time.
Right.
So I didn't know how I was going to incorporate that, and they sent me a logo that basically was like everything I was thinking about without jacking someone else's trademarked, idea. Right. So it's just with this brand that I've now built and I'm developing, that I'm nurturing and going through growing pains and going through my first tax season. That's a whole nother thing, but I'm grateful to even have like this didn't fall on its face.
Right.
Like, and I'm just gonna be very, very blunt about it. I did 5,500 in pure sales. I I've seen people, they post and they like, oh, I'm doing like my first year only did like 1,000, this, that, and the other. I hit 1,000 my first day. I'm grateful for that. I'm glad I had support from 2 people, especially, but for to maintain this consistency, I didn't ever fall off. There was times I took a step back, but I never said, you know what, it's not going well enough. I'm done. I believed in this because this is my story. This is my journey that other people are putting on and they're wearing and having their items stolen by significant others. I couldn't imagine that when I first put my first few products up. When I'm showing my mom the demo stuff and telling her, hey, we're gonna launch this on your birthday. Like it's crazy. Like looking, and I still haven't even properly celebrated that yet. I live in the now, but I do need to pause and understand. Like, let's look back at what we accomplished and let's celebrate that.
You have to celebrate the each win.
Yeah,
Don't
that's
wait.
on the to-do list.
Don't wait to the ultimate.
Yeah.
Because that gives you the motivation to keep on going. That's what I tell all my clients. Yeah, because they driven like you, and they like I got more to go, got more to do. All right,
Mm-hmm.
but for one day, just celebrate Sam saying, okay, I did this. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Because everybody else is not doing that. And so I agree with you because I started. I got a T-shirt that's and a hoodie that says "I am love" with a heart inside the O, and that's
Mm-hmm.
because that's my affirmation that I say every day. And then I also because the fact that God is the God, we are created in the image and likeness of God, and then God is love. So if God is love, then I am love, you are love. So then if we walk in love every day, then we have no choice but to be blessed. So and when I thought of it, the devil will come in and say, you know, everybody does a T-shirt, everybody does a hoodie. Why would you do it? You know, but at the end of the day, I'm not everybody, just like you're not everybody. And wherever you, what's for you,
It's
and
for you.
who it believes in you and it resonate with, is for them. What's for me, whoever it resonate for, is for them. But still, I gotta put it out there. You know,
Mm-hmm.
because like you said, if God's putting it on our spirit to do these things, why are we being selfish and holding ideas in? And that just put it out there for those who want it, have it, and those who don't, hey, it's cool too. So, you know, I appreciate what you're doing, man. I want to make sure you inbox me your information about your brand, so I can put it in the description box below. So if anybody want to support you, which I advise them to do so, they have your information. And also, I definitely will stay connected to you because I know you got a lot going on that you want to do as a community activist. You know, with our community, especially our men. You know, with me being a life coach, I fully invested in helping our men be better.
Mm-hmm.
We could collaborate one day to figure out to do something. I'm all for it. So that's I just
Absolutely.
I want to stay connected to you on that. So before I let you go, can you give our listeners a parting words of inspiration?
All right. So, lasting impression that I want to leave is that God ain't forgot about you. I know there's a time that you're either going into or just coming out of, and it's heavy. You carry it and you don't let anyone know that it's going on, but you got to remember it. God ain't forgot about you. You always on his mind, and there's nothing that he's going to introduce to you that he's not going to bring you through. So no matter what it is, adversity, challenges, self-doubt, whatever life throws at you, God ain't forgot about you. Because I promise, I'm proof, man. God ain't forgot about you.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Thank you for your time. And once again, please, those who are watching, tune in to Ryan Cameron Uncensored every Monday through Friday from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. Support these brothers. They doing great things. I listen to y'all every day. I want everybody to
Appreciate
listen
that.
to him as well. And then go please support his brand. Support this black man who's doing black things and he's doing it in the faith of God. So with that, I say thank you.
Thank you. And definitely check us out in Richmond, Virginia, and in Columbus, Georgia, middays from 10 to 3. So we on all day almost. We can get you through your afternoon and through your evening drive. So appreciate y'all. Ryan Cameron Uncensored. Shout out to Big Ray. Shout out to Ryan Cameron. Shout out to TQ. Thank you for even having me on this platform. It's truly been a blessing to be able to have this conversation with you tonight, man.
Thank you too. And I'll be in touch with you, brother. I appreciate you.
Absolutely.
All
God
right.
bless.
Please.